I'm joined by Tom Storey, sales representative with Royal LePage Signature. So, Tom, you know, I'm a big fan of the show Property Brothers. I watch it. They always take you in to this house that you cannot afford, and they say you like it, but you can't. So, you know, this isn't just for Toronto. We're talking about other cities. Let's hear it.
I mean, this is all of Canada. You know, affordable housing. Listen, I watch your show all the time. You look at everyone running for mayor. What's the number one thing they're talking about is how they're going to help people get into the housing market. So this is not just a Toronto problem, but this is also something that we're seeing across Canada. And what this report's really looking at is the people that are not already in the market. So the renters that don't have equity in property. When the prices came down last year, I think a lot of them were kind of sitting on the sidelines going, great, maybe now this is an opportunity to get in. But with the increased cost of where interest rates are at today, the actual cost of affordable, like monthly cost hasn't changed that much. And it's very, very difficult. And yes, you could have that family money that helps you. The report saying that 35% of first-time home buyers in the last 2 years did get help from family. And what was most surprising to me was actually that 25% of people that bought a property in the last 2 years were also getting help on their monthly mortgage payments.
Okay, Tom, I need you to break this down for me. When we're talking about a starter home, what exactly are we talking about, and how much money are we talking about when it comes to these gifts from, you know, family?
Yeah, well, I mean, you're looking at what you have to have a down payment in Toronto for most properties. And I know the number we always hear is that you have to earn about $240,000 to buy the average Toronto property. But the reality is that first-time home buyers are not necessarily buying a semi-detached house in Leslieville. What they're doing is they're buying a condo. They're getting into the market. And the advice that I give a lot of people that are jumping in is like, you can save for the property you really want. But the unfortunate reality is that the market might move faster than you can save. So get into something that you might not love, but you're going to like. Pay down the equity. Hopefully you see the appreciation over time that then you can jump up when it makes sense to you.
Oh, man, Tom, this is stuff that I, you know, kind of having a hard time wanting to hear because, look, we all want what we want and we want it now, but these numbers don't reflect that.
They don't reflect that. And some people are just more fortunate. Well, you have that family help, but a lot of people don't. And I think those people are sitting there at home right now, maybe watching this, feeling very frustrated, think like, well, what can I do? Yes, there are government assistance programs for somewhat. There's the new First Home Savings Account, which I recommend every Canadian takes a look at and talks to their bank account, because I think it is going to be something that will be helpful. But saving for that down payment is really the thing. So whether that means buying with someone else that isn't a family member to get in, but obviously there's lots of risks and variables to that as well. If you're renting right now, and let's say your rent's $2,000 a month, and you know the cost of ownership for the property you want to buy is $3,000 a month, that extra $1,000 a month, pay it into a high interest savings account so you get used to it. So when you get into the market, it's not a shock to the system.
Okay, so Tom, also something that's interesting about this, it takes a look at, okay, the demographics of, you know, the average first-time home buyer. We're talking about a relatively young couple in their 30s versus someone who's single and living in the city. How does this all come together when it comes to reality?
Yeah, if you look, if I think right now, so my clients, how did they work their way up the property ladder? Typically what happens is that they bought their first property 5 to 7 years ago. It was a one-bedroom condo. At some point in the last 5 to 7 years, they got into a relationship and now have dual income. Then they're selling that property and buying the next one. Like, that's the most realistic thing that I am seeing what's actually happening on the ground level.
Okay, Tom, as we wrap up, what are your final words here?
I think first-time home buyers or people looking to get into the market have to have tunnel vision. They have to be very clear with what their savings are, take every program that they have access to, and just focus on making it happen. Cut out all the other things you're spending money on if this is the goal and you actually want to do this. And my other piece of advice would be, like, home ownership also doesn't have to be for you if you don't want it, right? Like, I know we're told we have to do it. Live your life and do the things that make you happy.
Tom Storey, sales representative with Royal LePage Signature. All right. It's a tough pill to swallow, but thank you very much.
I appreciate you having me here.
Okay.